Just
All right. I don't know what that sound is. Spring break is upon us. So if any naked chicks pop into the show, I apologize in advance.
I would welcome it. We'll probably get more thumbs up.
Yeah. Let's fix that. All right, folks. Hey, you cocksuckers. How you guys doing?
I'm
Good,
good.
man.
My daughter's one of those breakers. Flew down to Lauderdale today.
See, you should have let me save her from Fort Lauderdale. Send her over here to Tampa. I can keep her away from all these dirt bags on the beach. You don't want her hanging out at McNasty's. I got McNasty's like less than 100 yards from my window. You don't want to go there. Then you got all the beach bars where you got people like you got like human trafficking going on a block from my house here.
Yeah, there's trafficking predators galore down there.
You gotta get those
Trying
little
to help you,
covers that they
Shawn.
have.
I'm trying to do you right.
Hey,
Not do you.
You see those little, you see those things, Joe? They got like it's like a pantyhose type material, but they're like drink covers for
Like
women.
girls?
Yeah, like it's got like a little elastic around it, and it's like a shower cap for your drink.
oh, nice.
Almost.
Like a condom? A drink condom?
No, but okay, sure. But
yeah,
it's
you
like
can drink through it. It's like a screen, like filters through.
yeah, well, no, it's like there's a hole for like a straw, but it's like like a shower cap is like elastic around the edge. You know, you can just
Sure.
put it over your drink while you're.
I have several.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's a thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
They,
So I
they
need
no,
some
they
clarity.
sell, yes, that it was it's an actual product that they sell for that women buy. So because people are dropping shit in drinks, man.
Sure. They
I
have
wish
that
you
for
guys would have
decades.
told me that
It's
a
not
couple
new.
days ago. I would have bought some.
Have you been around Sebastian Janikowski? Hope not.
Yeah. No.
But that's an interesting new invention. I probably should have got on that.
Yeah, it's an actual real life product. It's not just something that somebody was talking about on the internet. Don't remember the name or anything like that. But I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's smart. But then thinking my girls, they're gonna be on spring break next year or two. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be worrying like Shawn is.
Yeah. Jeff, send them down here. I can take care of your girls. They've stayed with us before. They got in zero trouble, right?
I'm pretty sure the girl's idea of a spring break ain't fucking hanging out with Uncle Joe, though. I gotta tell you.
I can have fun, but within restrictions. We have rules here. So
yeah,
a sausage-free zone.
I would be happy sending them your way as opposed to South Beach or Panama City, Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Daytona.
Anyway, Shawn, not to scare you about your daughter going to Lauderdale, but I know that we know that you know about Fort Lauderdale. Anyway, what do you guys want to touch on tonight? We're going to talk some playoff, basically the format, kind of debate and shit like that. But I think we should start off the show with a quick little draft. Let's do a draft of the Ohio State offensive players. Just a quick 3 rounds. So we could call it a 10-round draft. Just quarterback is your first pick. I don't care who it is. You don't need to get into that. So quarterback, first pick for everybody. So now let's go. I flipped a coin here just a second ago. And Jeff, you got first pick.
Okay. And
offense
just some
only.
Parameters on the draft. We're building a program or just for next season?
No, it's just most important players.
Most important players right now. Okay.
Top to bottom. Yeah.
Quarterback
obviously is the most important. Yeah, duh.
And I will take the quarterback that I presume to be the starter.
You can't.
Mr.
I just said there's no quarterbacks.
Okay. Well, I thought you said we were all going to take one and then go. Okay. Non-quarterback, most important player, offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would I want most out of who's left? I would want, man, there's a lot of different ways you could go here.
That's what she said.
Hey, I'm going to go, man, Trey Henderson.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Why is that interesting?
Because you could have gone like a bunch of different directions. You could have gone Judkins. You could have gone a Mecca. There's multiple options here.
Emeka's health. I'm flipping a coin on the health concerns of Emeka and Trey. I just that's why I went. I just went with Trey.
Well, I like it. Shawn.
You think that's
Second
surprising? Pick. Second pick, Donovan Jackson.
Oh, see, you're like shit with Jeff. You're fucking with Jeff.
What?
That's weird.
Well, I think everything that's the crux of this. For Trey to have success, for any of these guys to have success, that line does. I expect a heavy run game, a little heavier than we've had for the last couple years, and that all goes through the left guard, as far as I know.
Right. It's a lot of typing for me at this hour. I'm not used to this. All right. Since you go, I mean, this is a layup for me. Emeka Egbuka is the most important player on the offense because they're going to move him around. He's not just going to sit in the slot, just like they did with Marv. They moved him into the slot occasionally last year. So you're going to see Emeka moving around in different positions. And obviously health, you got to take health out of the equation when you're doing a draft. You got to assume everybody's going to be 100% healthy. Well, yeah. You can't assume the guy's going to get hurt.
Like when you're looking at draft prospects, the NFL, they look at injury history of guys in college or high school guys injured coming into college.
This is not an NFL draft. This is a draft for the 2024 season for Ohio State.
Okay. Don't you tell me how to draft. I won't tell you.
I didn't. I just I gave you my comments on your draft pick. No, I didn't. Right. So I go on Emeka. Back around to you, Jeff. This is not a snake draft.
Okay.
To give you a little leeway here. So you only got 2 more picks. So make them count.
I will go Carnell Tate.
All right.
Which I expect him to be the most productive receiver on our team next year.
Carnell Tate. Good pick. Great name. All right. Because you think he's going to get the most balls, or you think he's going to get the second most balls?
I think he's going to have. I think he's going to be. I'm concerned with Emeka's health. I think Carnell Tate's going to put up more numbers, and kind of ascend with his productivity. Ascend to be our top guy. I mean, I love Emeka. I do. I'm just worried about health,
Yep. All right. Henry, what do you got for your second pick?
Well,
in this 3-round draft?
Just comment on that. I those are both great, Emeka and Tate. I think Emeka's going to be, like Joe said, the solid guy that's there, the reliable guy. But I'm also with you, Jeff. I think you're going to see big plays, big time stuff out of Carnell Tate. It's going to be probably a little more exciting than Egbuka, but I feel like Egbuka should be more consistent. I got to go then
take
with
fireworks off my man.
I got to go ahead and just for the injury history and full year, I'm going to go Quinshon Judkins as my number 2.
Okay.
I think that's that tandem. I think he's going to get his fair share of touches. Probably not 1A, 1B kind of with Trey and Quinshon, I think, going into this thing.
So you guys are both thinking a fair balance of snaps.
I think, if it's, I would probably say 50, 35, 15 between Trey, Quinchon, and Dallin Hayden.
Okay. But between Henderson and Henderson and Judkins, you're looking at basically a 50-50.
No, I mean, I'll give Trey's going to get more. I feel. I mean,
Okay.
just being in the system, I think he'll get probably half the running plays, and Quinchon will probably get 35%, and then the last 15% to Hayden and others.
And obviously health is going to, hold those numbers. If somebody's injured or down, that's going to move the other two big. So
we can't speak injuries into existence here.
Okay. Well, I feel about the same way, Shawn. About that same mix is how I would project it. Barring no injuries, of course. I would expect it to be about like that.
Yeah. All right. So I'm up next. I'm going to go Josh Simmons. You got to go left tackle. Most important offensive line position. He protects the blind side, unless it's a lefty, obviously. But we're not in the position where we need to have a lefty quarterback. Sorry, Air Nolan fans. But Josh Simmons has to be one of the most important players on this offense. He's got to be perfect every snap. We need like Paris Johnson level of perfection here. So I'm going Josh Simmons. Let's circle it back to you, Jeff, for the last pick. Who you got? It's winding down, isn't it? Things get real.
I was gonna keep just to fuck with both. Corner of the mark. Mac is gone. Tate's gone. No quarterback. I don't know. We don't know exactly what our tight end situation is going to look like. That's a position I think that's still up for grabs. I don't like any of our linemen. I wouldn't draft any of them. I'd hope for what's in the free agency. So I'm going to go with man. I guess I'm going to go with man. I don't know.
What's important to you? What position? Third wide receiver? You got to start three.
Probably the tight end, I guess.
You got O-line, you got center, you got tight end.
Center.
So
I'm gonna go with center. I'm gonna go with center. So I'm gonna go with center. To the guy that's going to be able to run that offensive line, get us in the right protections, make all the calls. So I'll go with McLaughlin.
Right.
Transfer from Bama.
Yeah. All right. I'm never gonna be able to spell this.
We saw Heinzman's ineffectiveness or inaccuracy, not inaccuracies, but inability to direct the offensive line, and it showed a lot. So I think center is just as important as left tackle. I think in college.
I think his weight was a big problem. He's only like 280.
We won a national title with Bourne being about 270. He was 5'9", like 275 probably. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, Jacoby Bourne. Look, I
think it was more than that.
Center.
So I see what you mean, Joe. I see what you mean, but I don't know if our center is 280 and he's quick and can move and strong at 280. I think that can be fine.
But that was the issue. He was none of
plays with great leverage.
Yes.
Right. No, he had none leverage.
You're right, Joe. If you don't have good quickness and good and excessive, excellent strength, that 280 can really hurt you. You're right. So McLaughlin.
All right. So Jeff goes center with his last pick. Shawn, what do you think?
What are we drafting here? The best players or the most important players of this year?
Most important. Who is most important to you?
Okay. That really didn't even change. So I'm actually gonna go for this year. Will Kaczmarek. I think he needs to be a big contributor coming in to tight end. Big holes.
All right.
I think it's important to us to get where we've been I want to take Jeremiah Smith and some of these receivers. I think, they're fucking all-stars, but does Jeremiah Smith going off and being a top 10 receiver in football do it for us? I need Will to have a solid year.
Hmm. All right. Interesting. He only had like 20 catches his 2 years at Ohio University, his 2 years of playing. So
Oh, I think he's going to add a lot more value in
as a
in the run
blocker,
game.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. That makes sense. Okay. Um, Well, I'm leaning offensive line again, but I can't possibly do that when there's a third wide receiver spot open.
No, take a third lineman, Joe. That'd be your play. That should be your play right there.
No,
Taking a third lineman.
No, definitely. It's just a matter of who do you think is going to get the most snaps out of Ballard, Grays, Antwi, Ennis, Rogers, Graham, and Smith. So I'm going Brandon Ennis. I'm taking Ennis.
See, I don't think any of those guys are that. I think there are a lot of superstars in those names you just read, but I don't feel that any one of them is going to have to be absolutely amazing to be important for
Well,
us
none
this year.
of
Be
them
nice
have
to see.
earned it yet.
Be nice to see, and I think some of them will. But
Yeah. I'm going Ennis because I think they're going to move Emeka outside. That's my reasoning. I don't think he's going to be in the slot this year. I think they want to give him some diversity. An old wooden ship in the Civil War days. No, no. I think they want to get Emeka moved around, not just play to play, but talking for the bulk of the snaps. He might be playing outside like they did with Garrett Wilson, or an Olave. So I'm going Brandon Ennis, not just because he had the one big time 58-yard touchdown against Purdue. So I know you got Mylan Graham coming in the summer. He's not going to be a factor at all. Jeremiah Smith, yes, he's different. Yes, he is a stud. He might come in here and blow everybody out of the water in that receiver room. I'm going to Ennis.
And like to your point there, Joe, with moving Emeka around, when Emeka is coming in the slot, I'm sure Jeremiah is going to be that other outside guy in those formations. When they're in those position groupings, when Emeka is going to be on the outside, Ennis will probably be that slot. So it's almost like Ennis and Smith. We could see kind of sharing the position of whichever way Emeka goes, the other one alternates in. That would make
And
sense.
honestly, Ennis has that ability and size to make big plays from the slot, like a JSN. Like I see Brandon Ennis as a very unique receiver. So maybe Jeremiah Smith gets more snaps, gets more reps, maybe. But I think Ennis is going to have more receptions and more yards on the season. So that's why
I was my one that I didn't put where I took over Kesmeric though. I really wanted to take Luke Montgomery. He's our only underclassman lineman projected to start, and we need this guy to develop and start building something, and not just have a good year this year, but then be the foundation of that for a couple years to come. Luke's going to be real important for us.
Yeah, he could be a starting right tackle this year, honestly. I kind of hope that. Without giving too much away for future episodes. But all right. So let's get our guy in here. You know him. We know him. Oh, there we go. All right. I'll try and keep the volume down. Tyvus gets a little loud at times. All right.
Especially my headphones.
Share it. That's sharing the audio. There you go. You guys hear that?
Nope.
No? Uh-oh. You didn't hear it?
Nope.
No. You saw it. So that's all that matters. Thanks, Tybus. Tybus said a lot of nice things about me. You guys never say. So we appreciate him for that. All right. So a couple things we want to get into the CFP format. Obviously, we want to talk about the nonstop, basically just slow playing us into a 16 game format is how I see it. But anyway, I did want to touch on a couple quick things here. The most important one is for those of you living in Ohio, the what's it called? Ohio Casino Control Commission is banning college player prop bets in Ohio. You guys hear about this?
No. And Ohio just passed. They just became gambling. Just opened up last season, right? Or at the end of last season.
Well, they're already pulling back on the stick here.
Wow.
So you can't make college prop bets in the state of Ohio now as of March 1st. So get all your college player prop bets in.
Right. Before spring practice even starts. Over under 50 catches of Jeremiah Smith. But get it in. Get it in.
So apparently the it's going to be banned. There was a letter sent by the commission to the NCAA president and what's his name? Charlie Baker. And they requested that Ohio enact such measures in a letter to the commissioner this month. He said, yes, please, Ohio, be the leaders in restricting betting more. Those words are made up. Anyway, so the NCAA president is like, yeah, go ahead. Take away the prop bets.
Now I wonder why, or if that's going to push all the other states that have sports betting. Because I hadn't heard anything about that of any other state, or is Ohio just the only state that said, yeah, we'll do it? I mean, was it the Ohio Gambling Board that you said they're pushing it, and then the president? Okay, so they're.
I'm sure
okay.
Mike DeWine, the governor, has signed off on it. I assume that,
Well, I mean, where do you guys fall on it? I love prop bets and that type of stuff, but it does open the door for some really shitty, seedy, inside, dirty ass gambling. I mean, this is a lot easier to control a prop bet than it is to control the outcome of a game or
like a
things
spread,
like
right?
that. I mean,
yeah,
shit.
Sure.
I'm the guy, and you're over under on 5 catches. And my best buddy, just threw $100,000 down, and I'm dropping that 6-1 because he took the under.
Little gator arm on across the middle, like, oh, hey, I'm not getting
I
injured
just-
and losing money, right? I hear you, Shawn. I hear you.
But you can't. So this goes to one of those overarching issues. Can you? I don't know. Can you enact a law for every little fucking thing? If the kid does take part in a like point shaving. Remember, that was a big thing back in the 80s. Dudes were getting busted.
In basketball, yeah, it's much easier in basketball than football.
So the point is,
yeah,
how are you going to? I mean, if you bust a kid for having contact with a known agent gambler that is putting in these bets that you're associated with, then I think, yeah, you fucking reprimand the kid, whatever the penalty might be. I don't know, like suspension for a year or 6 months. I don't know. But anyways, I think this is a little too much,
I mean, I don't know. There's great points on both sides. just like you can't control your team and 118 to 20 something year old athletes, getting
Right.
drunk or beating up their girlfriend and shit. You're not going to be able to control this either. And it can be so far out there that, hey, my buddy, Jeff took under on 800 yards from Travion Henderson. Oh, that seems stupid until my buddy in practice fucking puts a helmet in his knee and it gets him out for 5 games and like, oh, won that bet. It's just
Wow, that's
I don't know. I'm
terrible.
conflicted on it.
That's terrible, though. Why would a player do that?
I mean, but you
You
never
make a
know.
lot
I
of
mean,
money. That's why you're a guy that's not gonna play. What? I mean, look, money and that it's too tempting.
with NIL the way it is now, you would think that the kids are getting money, but not all of them. Like you said, Shawn, some true freshman from who doesn't have money or isn't getting a big NIL deal. Could he get approached? But I don't know. You're right.
Could he? I mean, I'd almost assume that
It's a
they are
slippery.
going to.
It's a real
They are
slippery
going
slope.
to. There's too much money, especially if you're going to start throwing odds out on stuff like this.
But when you open up gambling, though, when you open up sports betting, there's a chance for all of this. You got, even at the professional
outlaw
level.
sports betting. I'm on board with that.
I mean,
it was. They just got it.
Right. That's the odd part, that they just they haven't even went through a full season of having it.
But
It's fucking stupid, in my opinion. When you try and restrict very specific things in gambling, it's stupid. It's fucking
right.
stupid.
I'm saying get rid of all of it.
I say either. Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I would probably say either get rid of it all, or just figure out
you
a way
can't
to monitor it.
At like
it's
like drugs,
open it all up,
right? It's like drugs. You could overregulate drugs to the hilt, right, Shawn? You could say no weed, no fucking anything. X, no matter what it's for, PTSD or treatments of.
Maybe you guys haven't seen The Last Boy Scout.
Anyway, so the point is,
he's gonna drown.
No, I remember
the opening scene.
But the point is, right? Yeah. What's Damon Wayans up to? Is he still around? Anyway, the point is, like, if you're gonna let states have gambling, or if you're gonna let them have drugs, why are you restricting specific little parts of gambling, like prop bets? It's just very specific.
That's not
doesn't make sense.
That's not a good comparison to me.
All right.
Drugs are legislating morality. Drugs are legislating morality. I don't feel that you should do that. I'm libertarian in that view. You don't do that. But you're talking about things that are affecting the integrity of a game.
Are you eating
That's
drugs
different
right
than.
now?
I'm not. I'm clean. It's February.
No,
I am eating some jelly beans.
There you go.
But those aren't the same thing. I mean, drugs is legislating morality. This is trying to save the integrity of the game. Two completely different topics, in my view.
Gambling is not affecting the integrity of the game on the whole. Not your whole.
I think so. I think it should be outlawed. That's what I said, didn't I? Done.
Statewide, countrywide, everywhere.
Yeah, countrywide. Done.
Oh, you're not a gambler, eh? I had you painted for a big-time gambler, Shawn.
I don't think it's good for the game. I know people enjoy it. It makes it's never gonna get outlawed because it makes too much damn money. I'm not stupid either, but I don't.
That's the other thing. When you take away this prop bet part of gambling, the state is losing money, right?
For sure.
Whatever it might be, I don't know how much. Could be 100 million a year, could be 200 million a year. I have no fucking idea. It could be 2 million. I don't know. But anyways, you are, as a state, losing money when you restrict something.
And these people in charge of making these laws, they're going to figure out another way to get it. They probably already figured out another avenue where they can recoup what they lost. They're not going to just deal with losing the money. You're right, Joe. They're going to just take it somewhere else.
I also think, Jeff, that it's a very hypocritical point for
No, I'm with you.
politicians to try and ban a little part of gambling. I think it's very hypocritical.
I'm
And
with you there. I'm with you.
I think it's pointless. It's fucking stupid, but glad I don't live in Ohio. Sorry, folks that live there. I recommend you try a let's call it international gambling
International
website.
waters, right? Don't move down here. We're all full.
Yeah, don't move. No,
All
definitely
full
stay
here. We're good.
Yeah. So, what else? I think that's about all the big stuff. We got an NCAA law case or legal case against Tennessee and Virginia. Apparently,
Yes.
the NCAA has a what's it called here? Temporary injunction. Go ahead, Jeff. You can take the lead on this one.
I was wanted you to. I was hoping we would talk about this. Virginia and Tennessee had passed this law that allows NIL collectives themselves to speak directly to high school athletes with inducing of recruitment. It is now legal in Tennessee and Virginia. The injunction's been put in to allow them to, they don't have to, it doesn't have to go through the school or through the coaches, none of that bullshit. So now these collectives, these boosters can just call up high school kids and be like, hey, I don't give a shit if you like coach or not. We got $2.5 million for you, cash. I mean, so these high school kids can just be called and recruited, visited, interviewed, whatever, by boosters or anybody that has affiliated with a collective.
Yeah. You don't think that's been going on the whole time?
Well, everywhere? I mean, but it's not. But they can just. It's now just out in the open, and it's just another step of why can't we all just get on the same page? Why let's all play by the same rules? Because once Ohio starts doing it, then we're gonna go blow right past them again. They're gonna be like, oh fuck, Ohio State, they're just opening the checkbooks. They got so much money. Because if we start playing, we just start playing by the South's rules this past year, and everybody's all up in arms because we fucking had the best transfer portal class, maybe potentially ever.
Because we finally got our NIL shit together.
Yeah, right. And now, what if Ohio passes this law too and says, "Oh, our collectives can just start calling kids."
This could be a federal law, actually.
I mean, if you go on to like,
I just want everybody by the same rules. I just want everybody playing under the same rules. Everybody has the same guidelines, state by state, because you're recruiting nationally. So it's not like you're just recruiting the kids in your state. So your state state laws.
But if you go on 3 right now and look at any top recruit, at least it used to. I haven't been on 3 in a while. They've got basically what they're worth NIL wise on there. So people are already talking to these high school kids. You can't convince me any different that that's not already going on. You're telling me right now it's only through the schools and coaches that are saying, hey, if you come here, it looks like we can get you $1.5 million or something like that.
Not Ohio State, it's not, but it's different in every state. That's the thing.
Yes.
This is different in every state, how NIL is handled. Like we talked about on Friday. Remember, Jeff, you were talking about Chris Henry Jr. moved out to Mater Dei, going to Mater Dei High School in Southern California. And I said, yeah, because California lets you make money as a high school kid on NIL money. Most states don't allow that. Like, that's why,
Texas.
Remember Quinn Ewers leaving Texas, coming to Ohio? Boom. That's why he was in Ohio for a few months and rarely was seen. So it's state by state. That's the issue. But I don't know if this injunction is going to do anything. I think it's more temporary, honestly. And it's
going to allow Tennessee to play even dirtier. I mean, Tennessee's been knocked for McDonald's bags of cash for paying $20,000, $15,000 for kids to come visit.
Right. This is the last school that should be fighting the NCAA at this point. But regardless,
I don't know how
Virginia got shoehorned into it anyway, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, it's just just
Because
somebody
they've
needs
been
to.
because they've been doing it is how they got shoehorned in it. They've probably both been doing it, and this is kind of being proactive to get out in front of the NCAA sanctions that had come down on them.
Well, then
Yeah, it's like, hey,
Virginia's doing
now
it
it's legal.
terribly because they suck.
Yeah. Vatech's not, bringing in any 5-stars, right? But I just want,
So
just make a federal law, make
the
somebody to
injunction
regulate
says,
this, and
yeah,
I'm not for federal law, states' rights. I'm no.
Shawn, you don't want
all right.
you think that all these top powerhouse schools, say all the Big Ten and all the SEC schools, you think they should all be allowed to do different things?
I think states
Why,
should
why are we not?
decide. The states should decide what they're going to allow. It shouldn't be
Like
some
gambling?
overreaching.
For kids only in their state,
Bullshit.
then. But like,
Sounds a
why
lot
could
like
Tennessee?
gambling too.
Why could Tennessee be allowed to go to the number one? Say the number one. Say Ohio's got the number one defensive end, outside rusher, 5-star, 99 overall, whatever. And Tennessee says, "Well, we'll give him $10 million." And Ohio State's like, "Fuck, we can't."
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Why is that? Why
states' rights
you're for that?
I do. I think it's great. No, then you know what? Then Ohio, if that's that important to Ohio, then they will change their law to remedy that. But if that's not super important for Wyoming, and they want to have a little more value in their education system, and don't value this fucking giant behemoth that is money in amateur athletics, yeah, I feel everyone can make their choice, and if I think Ohio in football would probably be one of the ones that does go along with, hey, let's pay these kids, we want to keep them. Ohio's football is pretty important in Ohio, but I don't think you want to force that on everyone else. And states, you come to your own thing on it, and that's that.
I got you. When you state and federal, I misspoke when I said federal. I want a governing body over college football as a whole, not necessarily like the federal
We have
government.
one, Jeff. It's called the NCAA.
No. I mean, you know what I mean. But that's what I'm getting at. The NCAA ain't shit. Like a real, just for separate college football, because college football is different than the rest.
I think what we
sports.
need is a Power 5 governing body, or Power 2, as it's kind of moving towards.
Yeah, your CFP, a CFP governing body that says, if you're going to compete, if you're going to be eligible to play in the CFP, we are setting rules for all the schools strictly for football to do this. But
then I want to take a sledgehammer to that CFP committee, because that's a fucking train wreck. Those guys suck. You got dudes on there from from energy companies, like CEOs of an energy company are on the CFP. Are you fucking kidding me? You got people from Division III on the fucking CFP committee. Right. No. Heidelberg College, Tiffin University do not play by the same rules as Ohio State. Even though they're only 90 minutes apart, not the same. Not the same. And that's the thing is, with the CFP committee, it needs to be completely blown up. I'm against committees, just generally speaking, because when you're trying to find a governing body ever, you're leaving some people out, right? So
and none of this will change until we get into the collective bargaining, and these kids are all getting paid as they should. Like,
I'm not sure that's going to be a solution for who decides who's in the playoffs, though.
I think it all needs to be under the same, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's right if everybody's not playing by the same, if everybody's competing for the same trophy, but they can all do it in different ways. Some are allowed to do it, this way. Some are not allowed to do it this way. Fair and balanced. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right, so let's get into this CFP new models that they keep floating out here. I just feel like they're slow playing us into a 16-team playoff.
Oh yeah,
started off as a 12 a year ago, maybe
stupid
more.
idea.
Yeah, and then it went to a 14 this past week.
I know, another dumb fucking idea.
Right.
Where are the adults in this room? I mean,
They're just, I'm telling you, man, they are slow playing us, Henry, into a 16. And that's fine. Let's just get there.
why slow roll me? Get there. It's
Right.
fucking 12 and 14 are stupid as shit. You're gonna have 5 years of this bullshit that is it's stupid where these teams get home field or get buys, and then these teams have extra home games, which it's a total fucking catastrophe. 8 or 16, period. Anybody that thinks otherwise is blowing smoke out of their ass. I'm so fired up about it. It's so
I asked the
fucking
chat.
dumb. And it's not like it's a fucking hard math solution. It's so fucking easy, right in front of your fucking face, and it's
already been done too. It's already done.
Right. Well, we've seen it in multiple formats in multiple sports. I did ask the chat for their input on what format they prefer. While you guys were talking, I asked the chat if they want 12, 14, 16 or more. And actually, we got some interesting answers. I'll come back to that in a sec, but please keep going, Jeff.
It's already been done. The lower divisions, Division 2, right, the 1AAs or whatever.
3.
They've had this model. It's a 16 team. 1 plays 16, 2 plays 15, just like the brackets in the basketball tournament.
Right.
How it works. All these it works for it. It's already been in place. I mean, if you wanted to follow the NFL model, and whatever at that number.
No,
but yes,
the NFL model. That's what they are doing. I feel like there's some NFL influence in this CFP. For people getting first round buys and this and that and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense for college football. It's again for any metric, you're robbing the teams that get the bye from having a home game, which college football is supposed to be about the fucking college.
Yes.
So the best team gets screwed with not having a home game to play number 16, but they get the benefit of, hey, someone chose me, so I get to buy. But that means when you go to 14 or whatever, so you're still going to have that argument between, okay, I got screwed because I was second or I was third, so I have to play or I don't. It's just stupid. There's too much conjecture. There's going to be too much bullshit over it. If you went to 16, all is soft. It's all soft.
Yeah. But then you're going to hear bitching from 17, 18, and 19.
I mean, we're always going to have that.
In.
We'll always have that. Somebody,
but I'm not going to hear. But at least one's going to have to play 16.
Yes, and they're going to smoke them.
Yeah, and it's not 5. It's not 1 through 4 get the bye. 5 plays 16. 6 plays 14. Yeah, right.
And they're
stupid.
So
we're doing 12 for what?
In that, Jeff, it takes away the incentive. If you don't have buys, it takes away the incentive to be a top 4 seed.
No, it doesn't.
Just make sure it does. It sure does.
Why? You get a home game and you get to play 16.
4 seed. No, if you're a top 4 seed, you get a bye. That's better than getting a home game, Shawn.
In the 12, in the 12, we have
better for who? Better for that team. It's not better for college football fans. Correct. That want to go and watch their team play a playoff game in their home stadium.
They'll get that in the next round. So the other issue is this 5-7 format. That's another topic we need to get into. I do not agree with giving like an AAC team a fucking auto bid because they're the best group of 5. No. They won their AAC conference and they're the highest ranked group of 5 team. No, sorry. You're going to get smoked in the first round. You're barely going to make it into the playoffs. But I don't agree with that. I would, and so go ahead. I'll let you guys go on that point if you want, or
I'll go real quick. Yeah, this the 4 conference champions of the highest ranked 4 conference champions. So potentially, say Oklahoma State at 9-3, winning the Big 12, could get a first round bye, and say a 1-loss Alabama who loses to Georgia in the SEC title game gets to play, as the 5, they get to play fucking Liberty. or some Group 5. It's
Well,
just
no, they're gonna play. They're gonna play a scary ass Oregon or Missouri or USC that's in that same spot. That's in 12. That's coming on strong.
yeah. I don't agree. Yes, potentially it could, but there's going to be years that in certain spots it won't. It's going to be bullshit. You can't just automatically give the four highest ranked conference champions a bye is the top four seeds if one of those conference champions is actually maybe the 13th or say the 10th best team in the country. I don't agree with that at all. It should be, if you're going to do 12 teams, the top 12 best fucking teams that whoever decides the ranking, put the top 12 in. I don't give a shit if a four loss ACC team is going to get a first round bye. Fuck out of here with that. Well, if you're coming on, you lose 3 of your first 4 games, and then you lose 1 game, your rival game at the end of the year, but you're coming on strong, you're looking good. You still lost 4 fucking games. You do not deserve to get a bye automatic second round. Whereas, like in this past year, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, one loss,
Well, I'd like to see, and I hope it goes this way, if you're going to add in all these freaking games, is you get rid of conference championships altogether, and then you don't really have to worry about that 8 and 4 team getting that top.
Yeah. That's not going to happen, though. That's a big paycheck for the Big Ten.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Then I'm not even for 16. If you're going to have conference championships, go ahead and back it down to 8.
It's when it gets down to like the 2 conferences, when it gets down to just it's gonna take that conversion of just Big Ten and ACC or Big Ten and SEC, 20 teams in each conference, and that's what it'll take. Once it gets to that point, that's when you'll have to probably get rid of those conference championship games. Everybody's in 2 conferences.
But that's coming up. What's your over under for SEC and Big Ten teams in this playoff? I got to put it at about 8, right?
Well, yeah, that's the other point is they want 4 auto bids each. And is that good? What if one conference has a bad season? Like
we've seen the last couple years.
Yeah.
I don't think any conference should get, like I said, when there's still 4 main conferences. They're saying ACC, Big 12, SEC, Big 10. You can't give any of those conferences any automatic bids. Nobody should be given shit. Earn it. Meritocracy.
But again, I got a problem with this CFP committee deciding who the 16 teams, 12, 14, whatever it might be, 8 in Shawn's world.
So do we go back to the computers, Joe? Like the BCS model? Did we just go back to the computers?
It seemed to work fine.
Did it?
I thought so.
I think it might now. Okay, I never liked it when there was only the 2 teams. But if you open it up to 12 or 16, 12 or 16, let the computers.
Takes the polls. Yeah. The polls are neutralized. How retarded. Sorry, YouTube. Please don't ban me. But ridiculous. How stupid the polls are. The human polls, coaches polls, AP, whatever else. These are fucking stupid.
Yeah, the sports writers they're going to
they cannot dominate who gets into the playoffs.
The coaches poll,
BCS,
coaches poll. Coaches don't even vote. They have their SID or some guy in their.
And BCS took into account strength of schedule. Losses did not matter at what period in the season they took place. So you lose late in the season, it doesn't ruin your season. So I'm a BCS person.
I don't ever want to hear some guy in Grapevine, Texas, coming out of the Marriott or whatever, saying that was a good loss. I don't want to hear good loss.
There is no such thing. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But they're calculating that shit now because you lost early in the season. Oregon losing to Washington early in the year.
Right.
That was a good loss for Oregon. That was Oregon didn't get dinged for that. It's I don't want to hear good loss.
Bama, Georgia. Another good example in the past.
I'm with you, Joe. With it opening up the numbers 12, and then we're going to go to 16 after 26 or 27. I think 26 is the last year of the 12.
Whatever they're.
Who knows?
We can't go. Whatever we jump to after 12. Whatever we jump to after 12. yeah, I would, take everything, take strength of schedule, take, home away, all that. Yeah, all of the metrics. I would be good with it. I didn't like it when the computers were just picking the two.
Right. I mean, that's very limited.
But yeah,
But
I would get it. But these guys like their Marriott points, man. These guys like to meet. They like
sure,
to get their mile. They're getting their miles and
I mean,
you can put
I'm
them
not
in front
I'm
of a
not that
computer and let
concerned
them
about a
crunch the
playoff
numbers.
committee. I'm not that concerned about a playoff committee picking this though. 4, yes, it does concern me. But now if you're going to go to 12 and then 16, I mean, basically damn near everybody's, whether it's AP coaches poll, the top 10, you might flip a couple around. Top 10 are almost always the same. They're going to have that right. Where they start to diverge is, you start getting up in there into the mid-teens, and they might have a team that's ranked 20 and another poll's ranked 15 or something. There's going to be some stuff there, but imperfect system. And they'll err on the side of, oh, hey, is it Liberty or Texas A&M that's on that bubble? We're putting in A&M because it's more money. That's how it's going to go.
Yep.
But seeding matters, right? I mean, even in the NFL, how you finish the season matters. Your record affects your seeding in the playoffs. So
if we're dealing with home games, you're right. If we're dealing with home games,
take a look at the last 10 years of the final rankings and show me where it's egregiously wrong. I don't think it's that upside down typically. It's pretty damn close to what I think everybody agrees on.
maybe generally speaking, but I think specific slotting, Shawn, that's what I'm talking about. Seeding, each spot matters. If you want to be an 8
with home field
versus a 9,
yeah.
If you want to be an 8 versus a 9, or you want to be, 3 versus 14 or whatever, that matters.
It does, but I feel like if you're the team that is 8th or 9, you know what? You didn't do what you set out to do and get one of those top spots to get the guaranteed cupcake. So
no,
hey, yeah,
Shawn, you just said that
how do they do it?
you have no problem with the playoff committee deciding where you're seated. What if they make terrible decisions?
Because
like they do?
Like show me one. Give me an example.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
I don't care.
Give me
one that you think
let's look at last year.
So egregious. I haven't seen it.
Look, last year the committee decided that Georgia doesn't make the playoff. Everybody thought for the whole year that Georgia was the best team, but they lost late to Bama and Florida State, who got their quarterback injured, undefeated, one of the 4 top conferences, undefeated champion, didn't get in because of their quarterback. Now
this fixes that. They were right, by the way, to keep Florida State out on that system.
Out of the 4 best teams in the country, Florida State. I didn't feel they should win in either, but I felt Georgia was still one of the 4 best teams in the country.
Georgia should have been in the top 4, and that's how they finished the season after the bowl games.
But you can't leave with Bama only 1 loss to a team that was also one of the 4 in the playoff. You couldn't keep Bama out either, and because you had to put Bama in,
have a committee
that's why they had to put Texas in. And not Florida State, because Texas had beat Bama earlier.
Well, because games and championships at this point still mean something. And you know what? Georgia lost the SEC championship. So 1 lost Bama. Bama's going ahead of you, period.
I still think there's a lot of subjectivity with a committee. It's not.
There always will.
It's not a.
And there's not with the computers.
Science. Because it's not.
Look all the AI shit up. I mean, the computers ain't perfect either. Garbage in, garbage out.
No, but you can't with computers though. If they're just calculating metrics and you're looking at just numbers, you can take away the impartiality.
You can. I'm fine with the computer doing it as well. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think it's that big a deal where it's going to be major ramifications. It would be a lot less major ramifications if you weren't trying to give certain teams buys and this and that. Hey, everybody go out there and play football. Guess what? You took a tough draw. You got to play Bama first round. Sorry. Hey, you got to beat everybody to win it all. So
Yeah, I say
Play the football game.
the higher seed gets the home game until you get, of course we still got to keep the bowl games involved. So like the first round, higher seed gets the home game. No buys. I'm with that. I'm totally with that. And so you're right, Joe. Then seeding does become important because do you want to be one of the first four, or or do you want if you're 8-9, you want if you're the 8 playing 9 or something like that, you want your home game. In college football, home field is huge, probably bigger than the NFL.
Sometimes though, guess what? The number 14 team is better than the number 8 team, and hey, that's just gonna happen some years. And damn it, I ran into these guys at the wrong time.
Right. If you're playing the percentages, though, that's not true.
A 16 won't beat a 1.
No.
Oh, bullshit! It will happen.
No,
not percentage-wise, Shawn. Come on, that's like less than 10% of the time. Come on, let's play.
Okay, I know Bama never loses to Auburn, and nobody ever loses to fucking mediocre teams. We never lose to Iowa.
I'm not saying never.
We never lose.
I'm not saying never, but the chances are slim. And seeding matters.
It happened, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen more than you think. It's not going to be 1 through 8, roll through 9 through 16. That ain't how it's going to go.
I didn't say that.
Me either. I was strictly saying 1 versus 16. It's happened twice in the NCAA tournament of 60 field of 64. I don't think you see it more than once in our lifetime.
Yeah, but you're basically a 1 against the 64th best team, not a 1 against the 16th best.
I'm still. I mean, put it in the futures, Joe. 116 beats a 1 seed once, or 1.5 is
because the 16th best
in our
team,
lifetime.
The 16th best team in college basketball is actually a number 4 seed.
I got you. I understand. Yes, I understand. I understand what you mean, Shawn. But but in college football, when have you ever seen?
It's not as deep. That's why you just
in the playoff, in a playoff scenario or a bowl game where everybody's playing.
Plenty
and
of 15s,
healthy.
Plenty of 2s lose though. Plenty of 2s lose, 3s lose. It happens damn near every year.
So you're making my point that seeding matters.
Yes,
seeding very much matters.
If home field advantage is at stake, seeding does matter. You're right, Joe. I agree, 100%.
Well, let's get into the chat here. We got a lot of feedback going on. Billy,
I knew he was going to be first. I knew he would.
First comment. There's a comment before him. I think it was Odysseus. OHIO to you guys. Odysseus says, I feel the CFP should be no auto bids if conference champ has 3 losses. That seems hard to do.
Okay. So he's saying if the conference champion, you lose your
losses?
automatic bid, you lose your automatic top 4 seed if you have 3 losses or more.
I got no problem with that.
I don't know, of course not. Because if you're auto bid, yes, like you're in, but not auto seed top 4. Right?
I'm with you. I'm with that. Of course, that's.
He says especially ACC and Big 12. Doug, what's up, Doug? He says, "Hey guys." Billy says, "Hi, Doug." I did that for you too. High five to you. Odysseus says, "Will Howard first pick." Okay. That's why we avoided quarterbacks, because I figured everybody would take him. Odysseus says Trey first non-QB pick for him. I like that. Billy says Travion as well. Odysseus says I go Tate second pick. All right. That seems to fall in line with Jeff's draft, right?
Right on. Great minds think alike. Cheers to you.
Odysseus says third, I go McLaughlin. Center is important.
Boom. Boom. There's my team.
There you go. Doug says, I hope Dallin Hayden gets enough snaps to stick around unless he gets passed up by a freshman.
I
think Dallin's going to be fine. Dallin's got 2 more seasons after this of eligibility. So once Trey and Judkins are gone, it's Dallin's show, unless obviously a freshman passes him. But anyway, Billy says, will Ennis or Smith be the third receiver play 1 versus Akron?
Well, so we kind of talked about that, Joe.
Yeah. Right.
Wait,
Yeah,
what package are they going out with? Are they going to line up? Are they lighting Ibuka up in the slot? Well, then I think it's going to be Jeremiah Smith. If Ibuka is
right.
going to be out wide, I think Innis will
Yeah.
be in the slot. That's how
And
I'm.
I drafted according to Emeka being moved outside for the bulk of the season. So, yes, starting with Akron, I think Ennis is in the slot. That's your guy. So, Jeremiah Smith will get snaps at the outside, but I'm not sure it's going to be week 1. He might not see much action. Got to earn that shit. Doug says, I think that depends where they play Emeka at. See, right in line with me. If he's inside, then it's Smith. Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously. Billy says if Jelani is ready to go, he can be a game changer. Thoughts?
Well, I'm
Yeah,
hoping
Being a game
that's why I
changer?
didn't go with the tight end. That was why I went with McLaughlin over Skronik, because I think Jelani. If we'll see what I'm be interested to hear what comes out of the insiders coming out of spring practice. How Jelani, if Jelani has made that leap already, you know.
Yeah. It's a developmental position. You got to learn to block like an O lineman. This is what Ryan Day always says. You got to learn to block like an O lineman, and you got to learn to catch like a receiver and run routes and shit. So, I'm not sure Jelani with G Scott there and Kazmarek coming in. I don't know if Jelani is ready to catch more balls than Cade Stover. Cade Stover, by the way, I got a Buckeye Blitz coming out this week. He finished his career 3rd most in catches, yards, and touchdowns. Now listen, 82 catches, just over 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns. That's 3rd most in the program's history. And then his 576 yards last year was also 3rd in school history. So,
Hey, good trivia question for the chat, Joe. Who was 1st and 2nd as far as tight ends in Buckeye history?
I don't know. I'm not going to look that up right now.
Dudley's got to be up there.
Ricky Dudley's the first name that came to mind.
Oh, John Frank, get the fuck out of here, Dr. John Frank. You guys are high.
Yeah, maybe, but they didn't throw. There wasn't a lot of throwing the ball back then.
But when they did, they threw it to the tight end.
That's true.
John Frank, 121 catches, 1,481 yards. All-time leader.
I stand correct.
Can't touch this. All right. Back to the chat as I prove people wrong again. Doug says, I'm most curious to see what they do with Demarion Witten when he shows up this summer. My hope is they don't attempt to put a bunch of weight on him just to use him as a receiver moving around mismatches. That's a fair point. I would not expect him to play anything more than a redshirt 4 games this year, Doug. Same with Max LeBlanc, the other tight end. They got 2 tight ends in this class. Both are coming in summer. So again, it's a developmental position, takes a lot of time. They're not going to just pigeonhole Demarion Witten because he does have like wide receiver skills and he's 6'4". So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, no, we're not going to hear anything from the freshman tight ends. I mean, Jelani Thurman, G. Scott, the guy they brought in a transfer tight end. And our receiver room is packed full. So we're not. DeMar Witten is not going to be making any moves up that depth chart, and we barring crazy injuries, of course.
Bennett Christian is back from the PED suspension, so he's been out an entire year. A lot of time to make up. So we don't even know what he has under the hood. We'll find out. Odysseus says, I'm surprised Iowa wasn't the first state. They had multiple bettors on both Iowa and Iowa State. That's a great point. I was going to bring that up. Iowa.
Where'd that story go? I never heard the end of that story. Like it just died.
The quarterback was suspended. Many players were suspended for Iowa State. I don't think Iowa had such a rampant issue with the team betting on everything.
You got to say though,
Iowa
how
State.
tempted would you be to be an Iowa football player and bet the under? It's so
Yeah,
tempting. It's easy money. It's just sitting there.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
people made thousands of dollars last season just betting Iowa unders
Yep.
nationwide. Why wouldn't the kids get involved? I guess.
Billy says NIL money should deter point and stat shaving. Fair, but are you getting NIL money because you're shaving points though? You can kind of flip
That'd
it
be a
on
hell of a
its head.
scandal. That would be a hell of a scandal.
Billy also mentions that you can't gamble in California except on the horses, the ponies. He says probably saved me lots of money. Henry, you gamble on the ponies?
I've been known to.
Okay.
I'm not addicted to it, but I'm.
Well, I didn't accuse you of that. I just wondered.
So, Henry, are you a degenerate?
Since you don't, if you're not into sports gambling, I was trying to, circle around the topic.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway.
I've been to tracks in my day. It's been a while. It seems a little seedy.
You know what? I've been to a dog track. Holy shit! That is the lowest of the lowest.
I mean, you guys are down there betting on highline shit. I mean,
not me.
Not in Orlando anymore. They took it out.
They shut down the dog track here by me. Thank God. They
did in Orlando too. They did in Orlando too.
That is the worst form of, I guess, entertainment.
And the people. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Ugh, disgusting.
I didn't have to go inside the place to tell you that a dog track is bad. Anyway,
right.
So I asked the question at this point in the chat, what CFP format do you want? 12, 14, 16, or more? Now you're going to be surprised by some of these answers. Odysseus says, I feel the NCAA has to hammer the cheaters now because that's all they got now that they can enforce NIL. He's referring back to the NIL conversation. Stephen Cherry, back in the chat. Stephen Cherry, what's up? He says 14. 14 Stephen's number. I would love to get an interview with Stephen.
Yes.
How do you?
We gotta get that guy.
How do you work these bye weeks? Who gets buys? The top two teams, I'm guessing, right? Would it have to be top two?
Which is the NFL model, 14, correct?
I don't know. I don't watch that shit.
They got 4 division winners, 3 wild card.
You tell me.
2 wild card. Anyways, yeah, it's 14. 14 that seems like just odd, like real odd. But
Odysseus says 12 is the max I'm okay with. Would prefer 8. I thought that was interesting. Backing down.
8. It's math. It's just math. 8 or 16. Gosh,
no, I get the reasoning. I get the reasoning from a mathematical point of view. I'm surprised people are happy with less. And obviously the TV networks are not happy with less. They're trying to squeeze every ounce out of this fucking tournament.
Yeah, until they ruin college football for fucking everyone. They are.
Yeah, it's Billy says I'm with you on 8. Steven says sucks that ESPN has the playoffs till 2032. Need to rotate the playoffs between the networks. Well, see, that's the thing is, if you really have a preference on who covers the games, the other networks can come to ESPN and basically like subcontract a game. You know what I'm saying? So they could say, hey, we'd like this 12 versus 5 matchup in the playoffs. We'll pay you $120 million for it. and ESPN can say, okay, you can cover that game for us. And then
Sure.
it's an NBC. From our point of view, it's an NBC product, right? But ESPN still owns the rights.
Yeah, I mean, I could see maybe like maybe a two Big Ten teams, or maybe a Big 12 10 or a Big 12 team playing a Big Ten team, and Fox says, "Hey, ESPN, these are two of our the conferences that we show. We really want to get this game. How about working some out?" I could see it that way, but with ESPN only strictly focusing the SEC, it does seem like kind of shitty if they just hog all the if they don't sublet any of those other games. It's I don't know. I'm surprised that ESPN took flipped the bill for the whole thing again. Came up with that much money to take it all. I thought
And
Fox would
again,
get in.
I don't think that's been officially signed. ESPN released that they got this deal, but I don't think that's official because other networks are reporting that they have not signed anything. Anyways, doesn't matter.
So you're saying
The
there's a
money
chance.
is not going in our pockets. Let's see. Billy brings up a great point here. He says, so I suspect there will be an SEC bias in playoff selection till then. Fair point. ESPN
It's worth questioning.
SUCXing
Yeah.
the SEC or whatever. So, yeah. Another reason you need kind of fair distribution.
And that goes back to your automatic bids, Joe. If now with ESPN having, let's say, if they solely have every playoff game, and then it comes out that the SEC gets automatic four of the 16 or whatever, then you're like, well, no shit. Now it's dirty. Now that's that's insider trading or whatever. That's dirty pool. I don't like the automatic bids per conference when there's four conferences. If there's two conferences, obviously, I don't know. I don't like anybody saying before the season even starts, four of your schools are getting into playoff before a game is played. That doesn't sound right to me at all.
Yeah. And then just the season long point of view being skewed towards the SEC is mostly frustrating too. Steven says your suspicion is correct, Billy. Todd Doyle says, I think they should pick the 12 by BCS standards. See, me and Todd right here. He says 9-3 Big 12/ACC champs shouldn't be gifted a spot unless they are statistically a top 12 team. No bias selection.
That's kind of what we're all saying, right?
Wow. If you're a BCS guy, is Shawn a BCS guy?
I don't think it's going to matter when I get down to the bottom. I don't care.
I mean, picture one loss Ohio State playing at having to go to Tallahassee and play a 3-loss Florida State team. That seems like bullshit to me. Just because Florida State has an automatic top 4 seed. I mean, it's in that. I'm just using that as an example, obviously, but
to me, that would be the best case scenario. What are you talking about? Better than going to fucking no loss Alabama. I mean, okay, yeah, you're gonna throw these losers in here. Yeah, I definitely want to play them. No, so if it was Ohio State, I mean, yeah, I want that situation. But I get what you're saying, because if it was anyone else, I would say that's bullshit. Why do they get to play these cream puffs?
Okay.
I mean, wouldn't you rather go to Florida State and play a 9-3 Florida State team than go to Georgia and play an 11-1 Georgia team?
Obviously, yeah.
I would.
No, I would rather. I would think maybe us at one loss maybe we are actually the 4th best team in the country.
Yeah, I can't imagine a 1-loss Ohio State being outside the top 10 or something.
No, there's no way.
I agree with Todd though on pick 12 by the BCS standards. I am on board with the bye weeks, though. I really think the bye weeks are something you should earn.
Again,
It's a reward.
a home game
Like
is a home game is a reward, and it's fair across all the teams. You're given such a different thing, and between 4 and 5 who don't get the home or don't get the bye, just make it the same. It's stupid. And what you're telling me, Joe, is a 16 could never beat a 1 anyway. So it's a fucking gimme, and it's a win for the fans. And so why not?
No,
You worried about the 1 playing the 16?
I care about getting a buy. If you're going to offer buys, I want that.
Yeah, I don't want to offer any buys. Nobody gets them. Nobody gets them.
That's the point.
You don't have a level playing field then.
All right. Well, the NFL, everybody loves. They have buys, right, Jeff?
Yeah, they do. I mean, the 1 seeds do. But now, a question about this, because this is what I haven't read into about the 12 team that we're currently going to be dealing with next year. The top 4 seeds get the bye. Will they then get, when their first game, whoever they end up playing, will they get a home game, or is it going to be a neutral site bowl game?
That's a good question. I'm not
Has that been
100%
determined?
sure. We still got that 5-7 format. That's another fucking point of contention.
I thought first round was going to be home field, which gives 5, 6, 7, 8 an extra home game for their fans, which is supposed to be what college football is about. And then after that round, you're down to 8 teams, right? And those go to the Bulls, I thought.
That's how I think it was, but I was just asking for clarification on that. I think you're right, Shawn, but I wasn't sure.
I don't know. I would have to look that up because we haven't even seen the 12-team format yet.
And if I get to play, then frankly, me being a college football fan, I want to be 5/4. I want to watch the Buckeyes play number 12 in a game and see more college football and have it be a more magical season, in my view.
I would see that too, Shawn. I would probably say that too. Yeah.
Right. Back to the chat here. We got Odysseus says, I'm pretty sure it's only through 2026. Nothing is really final when they're already taking expansion to 14. Yes. I'm not even sure what's going to happen. It's kind of a wait and see mode right now, right? I mean, these things have to be spelled out. It seems like a lot is still up in the air, even for this coming season. Steven says, hope you're right. Odysseus says they selected Ward Manuel as CFP chair, so no surprise they're all clowns on the committee. Exactly, great point.
What if he doesn't have a job by the time the season starts?
Won't be on the committee. You got to be part of fucking college football. You can't just be on the unemployment line, and show up at the meetings in Dallas.
I thought you said there's oil executives in there.
I did. Yeah,
you're talking about energy. Yeah.
They're voted in.
So you don't got to be on. So you don't have to be in football necessarily.
Well, yeah. Ward Manuel, if he's not an AD at Michigan, he's not going to be there. Trust me.
I thought the committee was only made up of athletic directors.
No.
Yeah,
no.
Last year's committee was made up of.
If you want me to. It's been fucked up for a long, long time. He had like fucking Condoleezza Rice on this shit. She's never been a part of a fucking college. Right now, you got. I'm not going to go through these guys' fucking bios.
No, don't. Yeah, don't worry about it.
But maybe there's a short version. Who is?
Oh, I mean, we all expect Ohio State to win the Big Ten this year, which means they're going to be a top 4 seed.
Right.
So it's not going to be an issue for us this year.
You guys want to question everything? That's fine. Right now, I got 13 members. Patrick Chun, he is Washington State AD. Randall McDaniel, former Arizona State player.
Hall of Famer, isn't he?
Yeah, just a
Guard for
former
the
player,
Vikings?
though. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Gary Pinkel, former Toledo and Missouri head coach. Mac Rose, Baylor AD. Hunter Yurachek, Arkansas AD. Carla Williams, Virginia AD. Chris Alt, Nevada AD. Chet Gladchuk. Oh, got to read more. Navy AD. Jim Grobe, former coach. Ward Manuel, Michigan AD. David Salyer, Miami AD. Will Shields, former Nebraska player. Kelly Whiteside, former college football reporter for multiple outlets.
Get the fuck out of here.
Maybe they fired the energy guy. He was on the last committee. Seriously, he was like a CEO of an energy company. I don't know.
I got you. So so it's not all just athletic directors, or I thought it.
Yeah, and I
at one
remember
point
when Condoleezza was on there.
There he is. Rod West. Rod. Oh, yeah. He was group president, utility operations for Entergy Corporation. Snuck the T in there to fool us. So
my opinion on it is I don't care. If you're outside of the top 10, you thank your lucky stars that you backdoored in, regardless. But they don't get the top 10 wrong too much. I haven't seen in too many polls. And sometimes you do get the luck of the draw, but that's happening now with the 4 team. I mean, Georgia had to play us. Michigan got to play TCU. TCU was trash, but that lined up well for them. Would the computers have changed that any? I don't know.
How do they factor in sign stealing? Is that an algorithm?
Well, apparently they don't give a shit about it. From what I see, they don't care about that at all.
The committee definitely doesn't. Yeah, but maybe
they made it clear. They even said so. No, obviously the computers can't calculate that. There's investigations under cheating allegations. But the committee, the guys, the people in the room, guys and girls, women in the room, they didn't care either. So, we're not going to have a situation like that again, probably. Especially with the going through the headsets, this year. So
there's going to be some new creative ways to tap into those headsets, and someone's hacked in and hearing everything they say. They're going to find new ways to cheat. I mean, I'm not saying just Michigan. Everyone is, and they will.
Yep. Anyway, Odysseus, we got you, Odysseus, there. Billy says if Ward gets a show cause, they might change things. I think he's going to get fired before we play the next season. So, again, no need for a penalty. Stephen Cherry says Shawn is overreacting. Oh, that was about 40 minutes ago. So I definitely think Shawn was overreacting 40 minutes ago. Shawn, comment?
Yeah, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and yours is wrong, Steve. Sorry, bro.
I gotta start reading these on time so I can get them in context. Billy says, yes, will a 1 seed ever lose to a 16 seed in football? I think it has happened in basketball once. Great point, Billy. That's my point. Odysseus says BCS without the AP and coaches polls would be better. 100% on board.
There you go.
Take all of the human factor out of the equation. That makes it better. I'm with you. Odysseus says Dudley and Hartsock. Okay, so back to the tight end discussion. I actually have these stats pulled up. Lucky for you. Ricky Dudley. He earned all Big Ten honors after catching 37 passes, 575 yards, 7 touchdowns. Was that 1990? No, that was 94.
4 or 5.
No, this was the year.
You're the rat.
It's in the middle of this article. That was 95. 94, he was his first year playing tight end, and he only had 2 years of eligibility. He had 9 catches for 108 and 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
Then Billy, what did does he say? Hartsock? Yeah, he asked about Hartsock. Hartsock, he had 33 passes for 290 yards and 2 touchdowns as a senior in 03. Best known for his blocking ability. He was also a starter on the 2002 national championship team, 17 catches, 137 yards, and 2 scores. So those do not even come close to our guy K's numbers.
Dr. Frank.
And Dr. Frank, yes. John Frank.
So who's number 2 then?
On
the old time.
This was a voting poll.
Anyways.
John Frank, nobody's going to touch him. Almost 1,500 yards. Yeah.
It's going to be hard to, I mean, yeah, that's going to be hard for anybody to catch him moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Micah, what's up, Micah? Notre Dame fans are saying they get a bye every year because they don't have to play a conference championship game. I agree 100% with that, Micah, and I hate them for it.
But they can never get a top 4 seed because they're not in a conference.
Right.
But they will always get a home game, being that.
And they always have their AD in the room with the CFP committee.
But they don't now. So I don't think they do now.
Well, they got a new AD coming in.
Yeah, Swarbrick or whatever's out or leave. Yeah.
Show me your sword prick.
But is that would that push Notre Dame? Is that one more thing that'll push them to a conference? You think?
You kick them out of the committee, yeah. That seems like that would be a
well.
Big,
I mean, not having a chance of getting a first round bye as a top 4 seed.
Yeah. I don't know how you give them one. That's not fucking fair.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what their schedule looks like, but if Notre Dame goes undefeated, they're getting a top 4 seed.
Without playing a conference championship game? Come on.
Yeah.
No, by the way, the rules are the top 4 conference, the top 4 ranked conference champions.
It's the 5+7 model. 5+7.
So who's number 5?
It's the big whatever conference.
No, but I mean, I think they get automatic bids into the tournament, but they're not.
Yes.
They're not getting top 4. They're not going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds.
Right.
Necessarily.
Right.
So Notre Dame, if they go undefeated, they're in and they'll be a top 4 seed.
But maybe I misunderstood what I read.
False.
I thought it was the 4.
The 5+7 model for the 12-team playoff does not include Notre Dame. It will assure the conference championships from the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and ACC a spot in the playoff, along with the highest ranked group of 5 conference champion.
So I'm still right.
Notre Dame does not fall in any of those.
That says nothing about seed. If Notre Dame is 13-0, they will be a top 4 seed. I don't know where you think that 5+7 says anything that they wouldn't.
5, Shawn. 5. The top 5 seeds are SEC champ, Big 10 champ, Big 12 champ, ACC champ, and then the highest rank G5 champ.
No, it says they're in. It doesn't say that they're top 4
That's
seeds.
the 5. That's why it's 5+7 model.
That's who's getting in.
In the top 5. Guaranteed spots.
The way you just read that does not mean what it means to me. The way you just read that doesn't mean that to me.
All right.
The conference champions, the top 5 conference champions aren't guaranteed the top 5 spots. They're guaranteed just
spots.
Guaranteed spots in the playoff.
They're guaranteed to get in the playoff. Okay, I get it.
Yes.
I read it as the top 5 seeds. My fault. My bad.
would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Which I
If
wouldn't
you're in
agree
a
with.
conference
Though.
and you win the conference, you should probably get one of the
No.
top seeds.
No,
Sure
because
does.
if you're Iowa and you upset, if you're 3-loss Iowa and you upset that's not going to happen going forward in some of these conferences. But if you were 3-loss Iowa and beat someone in the Big Ten championship, no, you shouldn't go above Ohio State or Michigan in the seeding.
Yeah, that's the example I
I
was
don't
bringing up
agree
with
with that.
Oklahoma State, say, or a 3-loss Clemson or 3-loss Oklahoma State being a top 4 seed when you have 1-loss Bama or 1-loss Ohio
You
State or
guys are going to
1-loss
make me
Texas.
root for Notre Dame to prove it to you.
I would love to see you in some gold shoes. Micah is just piling on as we're going to close out the show here. Odysseus says Notre Dame needs to join a conference. Yeah, preach.
Well, we can all agree on that.
Micah says Notre Dame has no chance at a top 4, and they're bragging about it. That is probably true too, and I agree. They do not have a chance at a top 4. I cannot picture a scenario where Notre Dame is one of the best 4 teams in the country at the end of the season. They always start off up there.
But if
they
they
start
are,
off up there,
they will get that seed. They're not going to be held out of a top 4 seed because of anything. If they're good enough.
I hope they
and
are
actually with the media and the love for Notre Dame, they probably get in.
Someday that's going to come to an end.
You would have thought 20 years ago.
I think if these conferences really want to use their power, I think they can make it happen.
Well, I mean, the way all this is changing, I mean, Notre Dame's got to see the writing on the wall. Like, oh shit, this whole thing's leaving us behind if we don't.
And what if conferences stop scheduling Notre Dame? Say if you don't join us, none of our teams are going to play you.
Well, that's the only alternative to really.
That's the easiest way to get. That's the easiest way to make a move.
Right. But then I think they should be penalized by the committee if we're going to continue to use this bullshit committee, and they don't play an extra conference championship game. You got to get dinged for that. You got to get knocked down a peg. You cannot be in the top 4 if you're not
playing one less game,
a conference championship game and not winning or losing. I think not playing is almost equal to a loss.
Because you're taking away the chance of a loss, right? I mean, yeah.
You can't give them higher priority over the top 4 teams in the country when they're only playing a 12-game schedule. Yeah.
But again, if they've got some stud quarterback, they come out, they're rolling everybody, and the coaches and that have them number 1, and they look like they're a number, a top 3 team in the country. They're going to get in there, even with their little shit record. Now it might be a little nick against them if it's close 4 or 5. Maybe they get bounced on something like that. Hey, you didn't play in the conference championship, but I don't know. Maybe this is better for Notre Dame because I actually just pulled up their schedule and it's absolute trash. Mm-hmm. And if they play a schedule like this every year, I would expect that they're going to be in the playoff every year as well.
Well, yeah, this is a bigger topic to expand off of. That is, there is no incentive for teams to play a tough schedule anymore, to schedule tough non-conference games, right? Because one loss still gets you in the playoffs, could even keep you in the top 4. And Notre Dame, obviously, with a directional schedule. Buckeyes are the same this year. They got a shitty schedule, so I think that.
But the conferences are getting tougher. I mean, the SEC and the Big Ten.
If you're in one,
added bigger teams. Yeah, right.
Well, the ACC brought in Cal, so yeah, you're right. They are getting tougher. And Stanford.
Cal and Stanford, right? That's fucking crazy. And SMU where did SMU end up? Are they in the ACC now?
No, I thought they were Big 12.
Did they get? I mean,
that would make more sense. But
I feel like if Florida can get through the season with 3 losses, they deserve to be in. I don't know if you guys have seen Florida's schedule, but oh my God.
Yeah.
yeah, they've had the toughest schedule the last 2 years in a row.
Oh, was it
They
that bad?
last year
Brutal.
theirs was the toughest schedule in the country.
There's no way they're getting through the season with only 3 losses. There's no way.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody's doing well. We appreciate everybody popping in. Don't forget to hit the buckeyecast.com. Check out the video vault. I just uploaded 20 videos this afternoon, and I can read them off quickly because these are big names that you will want to see. These are highlight videos of rats. There it is. Bradley Roby, Braxton Miller, CJ Stroud, every touchdown by CJ Stroud and his brother Sproud. Chase Young highlights, Chris Olave, Dwayne Haskins, Jeff Okuda, J.K. Dobbins, J.T. Barrett, J.T. Tuamoloau, it's a short one. Malik Hooker, Marvin Harrison Jr., every touchdown. Maurice Clarett, Michael Thomas, Raekwon McMillan, Santonio Holmes, Ted Ginn Jr., Terrell Pryor, Terry McLaurin, and Trey Sermon. All those highlight videos were uploaded this afternoon to the buckeyecast.com. Jeff and Shawn, I need to get you guys a free access to that so you can pop in there. This is ad-free.
That's some juicy watching there.
I got a ton of condensed games going back to the 60s. I'm adding more every day. So I have a bunch of highlights. I got some awesome videos that are basically highlights with Paul Keels, the radio announcer, doing the audio. So
Big Daddy.
Those will be fun. They're like 10-minute highlights of the 2023 season. So I'll be adding those tomorrow-ish. And no ads. That's the beauty of it. It's like YouTube with no ads. And if there's things like videos you're looking for that you want to see that you can't find or whatever, hit me up. There's a quick little button there. Send me a message and I'll get it up there online for you. So we appreciate everybody popping in. Jeff and Shawn, appreciate you.
Sir.
Always, brother. Always.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Micah, Sage, Ohio, just popping in at the last second. Yeah, Micah, we're almost up to 300 or 3,000 subscribers. We're getting there. 3K for you and me. Jeff, Shawn, appreciate you. Talk to you later.
Guerreri.
Go Bucks.